On today's edition of Story Time, instead of pointing the camera at me while I'm driving, I thought I'd point the camera straight ahead while I'm driving. I've got so many stories. I don't know where to begin. I'm going to tell you a story that a lot of folks aren't going to believe. A lot of you will believe that I am lying, that I am delusional, or that I am a grifter trying to make money. But this is a real story. It happened to me. Let's hop in the Wayback Machine and we are going to go to September of the year 2012. At that point in my life, my chosen profession was a insurance salesman, specifically a traveling insurance salesman. I didn't sell travelers insurance. I traveled from the office to your house to sell you insurance. I hated that job. That's a story for another day. But this particular client that I was visiting lived in an itty-bitty little place called Sugar Grove, Ohio. And in 2012, it was just a speck on the map. So I prepared myself for the appointment. I plugged in the address into my phone and I went. I failed to sell them insurance because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't any good at it. I tried. I put forth the effort. I just wasn't any good. And then I left their house and was on my way back to the office. In 2012, there was zero cell phone service in the town of Sugar Grove, Ohio, for my cellular provider. I had nothing. I couldn't make a phone call. I couldn't pull up maps. I couldn't do anything. But I'm a smart guy. I think I'll recognize landmarks and road names and stuff, and I'll be fine. Well, I was not fine. I spent hours, and I'm not kidding you, hours, taking dirt road after dirt road after dirt road, trying to find civilization. At this point, it was nearing sunset. You know, the sky was orange and pink, and the sun was still up, though. And I was on a one-lane dirt road that was going to end in a cornfield. That's how lost I was. I was in full panic mode because it had been over an hour and a half since I saw the last vehicle and over an hour since I saw the last house. That's how lost I was. On the right-hand side of the road was a steep wooded hill. Not that that matters for the story, I'm just setting the scene. And on the left side of the road was a cornfield. So I've got to be close to civilization. There's a cornfield, for crying out loud, right? In front of the corn, between the cornfield and the road, was your basic wooden fence. Your standard country farm fence. Nothing special. And I can see ahead that this particular one-lane road is literally the road that old Farmer Brown used to get his tractor into the cornfield, and it just basically ended up ahead. So I'm slowing down to stop. As I'm slowing down to stop, I'm aware that there's a presence on the left-hand side of the road, right at the edge of the cornfield. So I slow down and I look, and you guys are not going to believe what I'm going to tell you. You're going to think I'm a liar. You're going to tell me I'm a fraud. You're going to tell me that I'm a grifter trying to make money. I saw the Ohio Grassman, Ohio's version of Bigfoot. Now, I can already hear the skeptics in there going, oh, it's just a dude in a suit, you dumbass. Well, why in the hell was a dude in a Bigfoot suit that far from civilization on a road that I ain't seen a car on in an hour and a half? You know what I mean? just doesn't make any sense. You know, and every time I tell this story, I get mocked relentlessly. I get verbally abused. I've even had people threaten me over this story because they think I'm some sort of fraudster trying to sell something. And I've gained absolutely nothing from telling this story other than being mocked relentlessly and threatened and being thought of as a grifter. I've never made any money. Never going to make any money because I can't prove it. But anyway, like I'm saying, on the left-hand side of the road, there is this big hairy thing standing on two legs, looking at me. Now, when a lot of people describe Bigfoot or Sasquatch or the grass man, you know, they're describing this really tall creature that's built like the Incredible Hulk, really muscular and buff, and that doesn't match what I saw at all. What I saw was tall and hairy, but it was slender. Think of Chewbacca, kind of a build like that, tall and slender. This thing, grass man, whatever we want to call it, was carrying stalks of corn, the whole stalk, root and all, in a bundle in his arms. It was definitely a male of the species. There was some obvious free-hanging timber, we'll call it that. There was definitely a male of the species. And its face, the head was kind of tall, like a cone head almost, really hairy, and it had a face kind of like an orangutan. It was still had, you know, emotive eyes, and you know, it wasn't hair all over the face. There was a bald spot around the eyes and the nose. It was a dark leathery skin, like grandma been to the beach way too many times. You know what I'm talking about? Like somebody's over suntanned and turned themselves into leather. It was that kind of skin. Brown eyes, big brown eyes. And the teeth were also like what you would see in an ape, like an orangutan. They weren't, you know, sharp, pointy, predator kind of teeth. They were flat and broad across the front. And if you've seen National Geographic pictures of orangutans that have poor dental health, that's kind of what it looked like. They weren't pearly whites at all. They were kind of gross. But that's what it looked like. And then I'm thinking, while I'm sitting there in my car, you know, I'm going to be rich. Holy shit, I'm going to make so much money. I'm going to have the very first clear picture of the Ohio grassman. So I turned to grab my cell phone, which is sitting on the passenger seat. I hit the power button on my phone to get the screen on, and I turned back to take a picture of my friend standing there on the side of the road, and my man is gone. He went back into the corn. You can see the corn moving as he's running up through the corn, and you can see the top of his head. And, you know, he was faster than me. So I do not have any kind of picture or evidence to prove this story. All you have is my word that it happened. And like I said, I've told this story before, and people just rip me to shreds, and, you know, it got ugly real quick because they think I'm trying to sell something, trying to make money, or they think I'm just retarded and stupid and crazy and made the whole thing up. And I say now, publicly, for all of you to hear, I saw what I saw, and I don't fucking care what your opinion is of me. Don't fucking care. I've not made any money off of this, and I'm never going to make any money off of this because, like I said, I can't prove it. I didn't get that picture. I did report it to the BFRO, the Bigfoot Research Organization, I think is what that stands for, and I got their standard customary email. Appreciate the report. We'll send out an investigator. We'll let you know what we find. And here we are, you know, 11 years later, and I've never heard a word from them. So I doubt that they went out and looked like they said they would. But eventually I did find my way back out of this cornfield. And after dark, I got home around 10 o'clock at night. I finally found a road that led to a town that I recognized from my drive home, and like I said, I made it home safe about 10 o'clock at night. I have another story from this same insurance sales job that I will tell you another time. Thanks for listening.